Oh my god, it has been like a minute since I recorded. No, that was like specifically I've not been able to record for like 2 weeks. Life lately I've been busy and I am really sorry about that, but I'm finally back for us to discuss a whole lot of helpful topics that will like empower us, to keep moving forward. So in this episode, we are going to be talking about the common struggles in your 20s and how to overcome it. I myself, I'm actually in my 20s and I've actually experienced a lot of struggles. I'm not trying to say I don't have any much struggles again, but like I've experienced a lot of struggles and I've been able to like overcome some. And again, I've been able to like learn from other people's like struggles and how they were able to overcome it. So that is what I'm going to be sharing on this episode. So make sure to stick around to the very end. So, if you're yet to subscribe to this podcast, please do well to subscribe. This is a way of like supporting me and making more people to get to like, come across this podcast and also get value just like you're doing. And make sure to stick around to the very end, just like I said before. If you know anyone in their 20s, do well to, share this podcast episode to them because this podcast is going to be very much helpful to them. So, mostly in our 20s, majority of people have this mindset that 20s is all about confusion, frustration, and distraction, which is not even a lie because in your 20s, it's as if the society is expecting so much from you. There's this loss of pressure, your personal life, your career life, and, everything is just like, what are you doing with your life? We get that question a lot. Family, friends, everybody's asking you what you're doing with your life, and it's crazy because you might actually be at the point where you don't even know what you're doing with your life. You get me right? And that is so frustrating. And most times we don't even have who to like discuss this with, but legit everyone went through this process. So if you're actually still going through this process or you're at the point where you're feeling this way, you have to understand that you are not the only one and it's a normal stuff and you have to be able to like overcome it if you know the right things to do, which is why we are talking about this in this episode. The fact that our 20s is like a period of confusion and frustration, we usually forget that our 20s also is a period where you have the opportunity to set the foundation of your life. I mean, your 20s is when you like, dig the foundation of your life, how you really want to be in the next, 30 years, whatever, you get me right? So 20s is like a wonderful gift given to us because this is like a period where you are free to make mistakes, learn, unlearn, relearn, whatever the process is, but like it is very much okay and you don't have to beat up yourself when you make mistakes in your 20s. You just have to like correct yourself and keep improving yourself. That is how you get better. So we are going to be talking about the major struggles in 20s, the one I struggled with myself and the ones I've actually like heard people or read from a book from someone talking about themselves. So if you can relate to it and let's say you are at the point of that struggle, you can legit learn how to overcome it in this episode. So the first one is identity confusion. In our 20s, it's just like it's a point where we are like confused of who we are because I think, how do I even put it? Like there is this confusion, there is this imposter syndrome, there is this, how do I put it? But like, it doesn't feel right. It's just as if you don't even know what you are doing. You are the only one that is confused and it drives someone crazy. Like, it's just like you're questioning yourself. Who are you? Like, what are you exactly? Do you get? So, this struggle is so disheartening because you don't even know. All this while you were living your life, you believe that you know who you are. You don't ever question who you are. But then you get to this stage and then you suddenly have no idea of who you are. So identity confusion can actually like cause someone to be depressed, cause someone to lose their confidence, and so many other things. So if you think you're the only one experiencing it, or you're the only one that have experienced it, that is false, because we have all gotten to that point. The truth is that, let me talk about myself at this point. I'm someone that I've always like been confident. I'm not saying there was never a time where I'm less confident. Yes, I have been. There have been a time I was less confident, but like because of how I was being raised, I'm someone that is very big on confidence. You get me right? I believe that I know what I'm doing, I know who I am, and all of that stuff. So it was very shocking when I got to a stage and I'm like, who am I? I was like, what is going on? Do you get? I was so confused. I was like, is this how I'm going to turn out to be like a nobody and all of that, you get? But it was a terrible period in my life. I was trying out different lots of things, and it was as if I'm becoming different people. Do you get? I didn't even know who exactly I was. I've actually like, I tried business, I tried this, I tried that, and then I could actually see a part of me in those things, but it just does not really feel like it is me. But the truth is that we are actually like making a very big deal of what identity is, and which is not supposed to be so. How I was able to help myself is I started like going back to my past. I mean, like how I was when I was little, things I actually like, what kind of person I was. I started paying attention to those things, and I was able to like, pick up, how will I put it, like I was able to like arrange myself to be able to figure out who I am. So if someone asks me now, who are you? I'll start from the kind of things I like, the kind of things I like to do, the way I behave, and all of that stuff. So I feel like those things are what makes you identity. Those things are what, makes you who you are. Do you get? Those things are what would actually like lead to you, becoming the person you want to be, because there is this huge person you are looking up to that you want to become. So that tiny little you, your past, when you were in primary school, when you were in secondary school, all of that is the person that adds up to this person you are trying to be in the future. So I am still in the process of identifying who I am, but that does not mean I don't know who I am. But like in the process of it, I know who I am, and I'm still trying to become the real person in the future I am trying to become. So you just have to like, take a look back at your past. What are those things that you like doing? What makes you happy? What intrigues you, and all of that. If you check people now, there are lots of people that what they are doing right now, they were able to figure out their career path because of like they took a step back to their past and realized that this is what they liked doing as a child. So they're already passionate about it, you get. I've heard someone talk about how he liked drawing when he was a child, and when he grew up, he didn't have an idea of what he wanted to become. But when he took a step back, he added one or two things together and started to give it a try. And right now, he's actually like building a career doing what he likes to do. So this is going to take us to the second struggle that everyone, let me not say everybody, but like majority of people experience, including me. Okay, this one is career uncertainty. Career uncertainty is like knowing what path to go, what you want to become, right? And this career uncertainty is actually crazy because in your 20s, you need to make money. And how do you make money? You need to have a skill, you need to have a career, you need to have what you do that would actually make you this money, because money will not definitely fall into your lap. And this career uncertainty is actually like a crazy struggle because people get stuck in this point because you have to believe in yourself for other people to believe in you and then hand over a work for you to get done. So when I got to this stage, especially last year, it took me an entire year to figure out what I wanted to do. I got into the Web3 space. I learned about NFTs. I learned about everything marketing, Web3, DeFi, and the rest. But I just could not find my path in that. Like, even though, yes, I know what's up, I just could not find a me in that space. And I was just crazy because I could not be certain about my career and what I really want to do. But then as I struggled, I figured out I had to tell myself the truth that I don't enjoy it in as much as I love the knowledge I got from it, but I don't really enjoy the Web3, whatever stuff. I just love the knowledge I get from it, but it's not something I think I would want to do as my career. So I now have to like start going back to basics. Who am I? What do I love to do? And the truth about me is that I've always known that I love business. I legit love business. And from loving business, when you have a business, you know that for you to enjoy and grow your business, you have to know how to market your business. So that was how I got interest in marketing. But I didn't really have interest in doing like the old-fashioned, will I call it old-fashioned, but like the traditional marketing. I didn't really like that, you get. And yes, I am actually fascinated with social media and all of that stuff. So that actually like directed me towards this part of like, me being passionate about business and also me wanting to like, learn about marketing because this fascinates me on a normal day. So that was how I was able to like, figure out my path and what I want to do. And right now, this is actually making me happy. You get, I'm not saying that I've actually like figured out everything, but at least finally I know a career path I want to go on and I've already, started. You get me, right? So I believe that if you actually like took the same steps and, do what I did back then, you can be able to like figure out what you would like to do in your career and be certain of who you want to become. So instead of just being so obsessed with making money and then going there to do something you might not even like, just take your time. It can take you a month, it can take you weeks, it can take you a year, just like it took me. But take your time and make sure you figure out a career path that you actually love, because if you don't love something, you can't be able to do it a long time. So the next thing, this is supposed to be like the third struggle that we experience, including me, is procrastination. When you figure out who you are, when you figure out your career path, you have to now be serious. You have to like, put in so much work to actualize your dream and all of that, right? So now procrastination is is a thief of joy. How do I put it? Like, procrastination would make you not to even get started, because let's say someone that figured out their career path or their dream, they want to be a writer, they want to write books and all that. Each day they decide that, okay, I'm going to make sure I write a chapter of my book tomorrow. When that tomorrow comes, they procrastinate. And procrastination have actually made people not to be able to achieve something. I remember when a friend of mine finally took this bold step to go and learn about, she wanted to start a career in UI UX. She wanted to become a UI UX designer. And when she finally took this bold step and she started, I was so surprised the day she told me that she has graduated from it. And this course was going to last for 6 months. So imagine that she kept postponing. Time is going and you have nothing to achieve. So for you to stop procrastinating, you have to discipline yourself. You have to be honest with yourself, because why do you say you are going to start it tomorrow? Why not do it now? If you do it right now, will you die? You won't even die. So you just have to stop procrastinating. When you stop procrastinating, you'll be able to achieve so much more. And this is a struggle that I am still struggling, but a lot of things I've been able to achieve so far is because I did not procrastinate. So the fourth struggle is actually fear. Fear have limited us. This fear comes in various forms. My own experience is the fear of, oh my God, what will people think? What if I fail? What if I don't succeed? What if I embarrass myself? So fear is actually a very dangerous thing because it stops you from, seeing what you're going to achieve. And if you don't overcome fear, you won't be able to achieve something at all. So fear would put that, how do I even describe fear? But the point is that fear is not good at all. So one thing I told myself, I think I came across it, whether it's on LinkedIn or Instagram, someone posted a content and was talking about fear, that fear is fear itself. Instead of sitting back and saying you are scared, do that stuff you wanted to do it scared, do it angry, do it ashamed, do it exhausted. Just go ahead and do it however you feel. That does not matter, but make sure you do it. And this is how I believe I was able to start getting things done, because just like this episode, I won't lie to you, the first time I recorded my first podcast, I was really scared as fuck. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to say? What if I start stammering? But then, as that person said on his or her content, do it scared. So I had to do it scared, and I was able to record my first episode, and all of those things I was scared of did not even happen. And that is the crazy thing about when you are being scared. The things you are scared of will not even happen. So the fifth struggle is feeling overwhelming. This is common with everyone. How do I put it? Before you even get started, let's say beginning of the month, you have already told yourself, this November I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to achieve that. And finally the 1st of November came, you started feeling overwhelmed, started feeling like there is a lot of things to be done. In fact, you start doubting yourself. You're like, I can't even do this. Why did I even, believe that I was going to be able to do that? So overwhelming is a common feeling, and this is so crazy because it will end up making you not to do anything at all. So the question is, how do you overcome overwhelming? How I've been able to overcome overwhelming is that sitting down there and feeling overwhelmed makes me do nothing. That's what I tell myself. And then I'm like, okay, instead of just sitting down there, not achieving anything and feeling overwhelmed, I have to do at least 3 things. So the easiest way to get away from feeling overwhelmed is don't try to do everything all at once. Have a to-do list and a scale of preference. What is most important to you? Start with at least 3 things and get it done. And when you do that, you will have this feeling of accomplishment that would even push you to do more. But if you say you have 1,000 things to do and you have not even, you are just looking at 1,000 things at once, oh my God, I have to do this, I have to do that, you will not be able to get started. And that is what causes overwhelming. So always have a list of what you want to do. Make it realistic. Make it look easy and get started with it. So guys, I hope this episode is actually helpful to you. And I believe that if you take this advice and apply every tip and everything I said here, you'll be able to see the result that I saw as well. Do well to share this episode to anyone in their 20s or even in their 30s. It can actually be helpful to people in their 30s that didn't sort this in their 20s, right? Share it to them, listen to it and sleep on it. Apply it in your daily life. You would definitely see the difference. Thank you for listening to the very end. See you next week.